Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm going to do an update on the situation with Vox Media, the layoffs yesterday. We did a video in regards to how it affects Polygon, and apparently some people at Polygon were laid off. I'm not getting a straight story yet, but there were rumors that people were being laid off at Polygon, which is owned by Vox, right? That's their video game brand. But yeah, this is kind of tragic on so many levels. Really, the tragedy here is that unionized journalists don't realize that they can still be fired, and they can be fired coldly and cruelly, and that being unionized doesn't guarantee that you will still have your job. In fact, from a business perspective, it could be argued that being unionized actually leads to job loss in this space because you have to pay people more. And when the ad rates drop and the money runs out, you're going to have to cut people because you have to, because you don't have enough money to make the company go. And that's what the CEO was saying, was it doesn't matter if you guys are unionized or not. It doesn't matter if it feels bad or not. I had to let you go because we don't make enough money. The money's not there. This happened with Kickstarter too. They had a union and they left a bunch of employees go because they had a downturn at the beginning of the pandemic. But really, I think what was going on in that case, and I'll be completely honest, I think what was going on in that case was they were low-key trying to bust the union. That might be what Vox is doing here. I don't know. But we're going to talk about this and look at the fallout. And again, look, I worked as a journalist for a while. I wasn't union, but you know, I'm not happy that people are losing their jobs. I am somewhat happy that these smug, over-important blogs are finally getting their comeuppance, because they were never sustainable. There are way too many of them, and a lot of them hire subpar journalists. Not everybody. There are some good journalists out there. I do believe that. Even at garbage websites like Polygon, Kotaku, they have a couple of people there that are good, but they have been hiring a lot of activist bloggers, trying to pass themselves off as journalists, and they've been attacking fandoms and attacking people, making things political that aren't political, and it's been driving audiences away. And that was before the ad rates dropped, and it's over. Like, this is not sustainable. You can't have like 9,000 different websites out there, all spinning the same crap, day after day after day. And then, when they take a hit to their bottom line, they got to get rid of people. It's just the way it is, guys, just the way it is. So let's talk about it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 288, almost 289,000 subs. Thank you for the support. We do talk a lot about the digital media because it's imploding. We've been following video game sites imploding because they're just not sustainable, and they've driven away gamers. I mean, when you've got video game sites literally attacking gamers, saying that gamers are dead, gamers are awful, gamers are Nazis, people aren't going to read your stuff, right? And it is what it is. Hollywood Reporter has a story on this. Vox Media union calls the layoffs unconscionable. Unconscionable. Publisher behind Vox, The Verge, and New York Magazine laid off 7% of its workforce. They also have Eater and SB Nation. They're not mentioning, again, Polygon. They own that, but Polygon's not important enough to mention. Well, the CEO, Jim Bankoff, said, "We made the difficult decision to eliminate roughly 7% of our staff roles across departments due to the challenging economic environment impacting our business and industry." Go out to Twitter. Todd Spangler says Vox Media employees were to be notified via email if they were losing their jobs within 15 minutes of the CEO sending out that memo. That's the truth, though. That's how it works. And a lot of times they do that because they want to rip the Band-Aid off. Jason Schreier, who I think worked for Kotaku or Polygon at one point, and now works for Bloomberg. I want to say Bloomberg. Let me look at his bio here. I think he works for Bloomberg. Best wishes to everyone who got laid off by Vox, fandom, and all the other cruel media conglomerates that expand too quickly and then solely punish the people who had nothing to do with the decision to expand too quickly. I don't disagree with that. There are too many of these websites. They start these websites all the time, and they hire a bunch of people on, hoping that in 5 years they'll make money. And I think we're going to see like a Highlander scenario where only the strongest sites are going to survive. I don't think Kotaku and Polygon are going to be around for much longer, but that's just me. This is what he said. Unfortunately, in this economic climate, we're not able to sustain projects in areas of the business that have not performed as anticipated, or less core to where we see the biggest opportunities in the coming years, or where we don't have enough rationale to support ongoing investment in what could be a prolonged downturn. In spite of the dedication of the many talented people involved in these initiatives, we need to scale back. That's the truth. That's business. The money's not there. We don't have the money to pay you. We don't think that this business is going to be profitable in 5 years, because the companies will invest. They'll be like, okay, if we think we're going to make money, 5 years down the road, we'll pay these people now and we'll cash out later. But if they're looking at the situation like, yeah, things are not going to get better for digital media, it's over. We're experiencing and expect more of the same economic and financial pressure that others in the media and tech industries have encountered. These difficult circumstances prompted us to take other steps over the past few months to reduce our spending. We suspended most new hiring and significantly reduced discretionary spending. While we're not expecting further layoffs at this time, cleverly worded, we will continue to assess our outlook. This week, we're not laying anybody else off, but next week might be a different story. We're going to keep a tight control on expense and consider implementing other cost savings measures as needed. In response, the Vox Media Union, which organized with the Writers Guild of America East, fired back at the publisher, saying that members of the workforce had already undergone prior layoffs and had spent 3 years of working in tough conditions. Our committee spent Friday morning hearing from members of the Vox Media Union as they waited for emails to let them know if they would still have a job. We're coming off of 3 years of working in tough conditions through a pandemic with limited resources, and the way our colleagues were treated today is unconscionable. These cuts come after multiple rounds of layoffs in 2022, in which we lost many valued colleagues. We are furious at how this will impact our colleagues who have lost their jobs and remain concerned about the long-term morale of those who remain. So did you hear the part where he said they don't have any money to pay your colleagues? Did you hear that part? Because it doesn't matter if you're unionized or not. I mean, this is the thing. And I've said before, I'm not anti-union per se. I think, if the working conditions are deplorable, in fact, we did a video before talking about the effects workers at Marvel. And I think, they probably should unionize because they're trying to lowball them and work them ridiculous hours. And I know that they're probably trying to do more with less over at Vox too. They have a lot of pressure, but unionized employees cost more. So, by unionizing, you might have actually guaranteed that some of your colleagues were going to get laid off, because they can't afford 20 of you anymore. They can only afford 10 of you. And also, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to have a job. Everybody unionizes thinking they're going to have a job forever if they do it. If the money runs out, the money runs out. I mean, come on. Stop thinking like a toddler. God, seriously. We are committed to fighting for those who were affected by these layoffs and holding management accountable for their actions. We won strong severance in our contract. That's what this is about, severance. And we are working as a union to further protect our impacted colleagues. You're putting yourselves and your colleagues in the crosshairs right now, because they're going to say, well, this union is going to be a problem. Get rid of all the unionized employees now, and we'll just hire freelancers or contract workers or something, because we can't afford to deal with a union at this point. Layoffs hurt our brands, hurt our business prospects, hurt our credibility, hurt our values, hurt our people. Our union knows the greatest asset of Vox Media is its workers. No, the greatest asset of Vox Media is its ad revenue, and it's not there. We are grateful for our Vox Media Union, organized with the Writers Guild of America East. The union said layoffs come as many people in media and tech slash their headcounts in light of the tough macroeconomic environment. Alphabet, which is Google, announced a plan Friday to lay off 12,000 people. So if Google's laying off and Amazon's laying off and Facebook's laying off, why do you think, Vox Media, that you are immune to this? These journalists are shocked that they're this disposable, and I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I used to do this. It's a tough gig. It is, but all the signs were there for months that this was going to happen. I've been talking about it for 2 years on this channel, that these websites are not sustainable, and you need to keep your resume updated. I keep telling people, and they don't believe me. I don't know why they don't believe me. Anyway, there it is. There it is, guys. I think a lot more people are going to get laid off. I think a lot of these websites are going to get sold off, and I think we're going to hear a lot more lamenting and drama and anger from those affected. But again, there should not have been a surprise. Gonna wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.